91 San Diego.
This is Dan the Bogarts. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And the Padres in front.
And Odyssey Sports Station. It's time to talk Padres baseball.
This place is electric.
Our 97.3 The Fan staff is together to break down everything, both on and off the field, with the San Diego Padres in our commercial-free Epic Padres Roundtable, sponsored by Epic Wings. Buckle up, Friar Faithful. We've got a lot to discuss. Now, here's your host, Ben Higgins.
Crazy. Woods and I didn't have time to change out of our new City Connect jerseys for today's Epic Padres Roundtable, brought to you by Epic Wings. Always fresh, never frozen. We've got an hour free of Padres commercial-free talk for you coming up here with a very special guest. Let's introduce him right away. You know that voice,
Proud
San
to
Diego.
be here.
Longtime television voice of the San Diego Padres, Mark Mud Grant is with us. Hello, Mudcat.
Thanks, guys. Always good to see you. Always good to talk. And we've got a lot to talk about. You guys are looking really bitching in the City Connects. I thought Eric Rubner did a great job describing the genesis of all this, and I think it's great. These things are gonna fly off the shelves, man.
Now I remember you at Fantasy Camp in the City Connect, and it was
I know.
I mean,
you guys said some guys kind of.
Yeah, you were one of them. You were one of the guys. You were one of the guys I was talking about. I was one of the guys. Paulie was one of the guys I was talking about. Listen, these are more for the everyman.
Yes,
right, which is fine by me.
You know, when the old City Connects were worn, and if there was a game where the Padres, like a lot of teams, they get the snot knocked out of them every now and then, and you're walking off the field, it's not a good look.
In those,
Chris, if you're going to get beat, I think these are like, okay, hey, we may have gotten beat, but our guys are looking solid.
Looking good. These are a big
solid.
step up. I feel like it's a knock on the other ones, and I don't mean it to be, because I always enjoyed the other ones.
Yeah.
I thought they were creative, and they were, they stood out from what everybody else did with their City Connects. But I just think these are nicer in general.
I agree.
In
I love
addition,
the marigold. I love the color. I love the bright colors.
Yep.
In addition to Mud Grant, of course, we got Chris Ello, Stephen Woods, and Braden Sopranet in for his first Epic roundtable of the season after he was out of town in Boston last week. Braden, it's good to have you. How was the trip, and what do you think of the new City Connect so far? Any observations?
Trip was great. It was good seeing a lot of Padres fans. Just talking with Mud before the roundtable.
The cold.
Yeah. Oh my God. I went to the game on Saturday, and it was the coldest game I've ever been to, and I was like, well, maybe I'm just being a soft San Diegan with the weather, and then I realized that everybody there wearing Red Sox stuff was bitching, moaning, and complaining about how cold it was at the game. But it was great to see a ton of Padres fans. I mean, at one point, one Red Sox fan said, why the bleep are there so many Padres fans here right now? So like, it's great to see our fan base out there and really not necessarily taking over stadiums, but showing, a good force for the boys on the road. And I think the guys appreciate that. And you can see it with the way that they played on the road trip. City Connects. I love the City Connects. I grew up with the blue and orange Padres. I grew up with Matt Vasgersian and Mark Grant calling games on Channel 4, seeing some blue and orange out there. I mean, that to me is Padre uniforms. And so the fact that they went to that a little bit, obviously the colors are slightly different, but I love the hats. I think the hats are super cool. I think they did a phenomenal job with the City Connects.
Yeah, the La Katrina patch on the side, and Eric was talking about that on our show as well, is so unique and different. And I love. We've been talking about the hats. The cream it's bone. Bone.
Yeah.
Now that makes it go. That makes it sound a little tougher when our uniforms are bone colored.
Is that better than the mustard jerseys of days gone
I like
by?
Those were pretty.
Remember
horrible.
those ones?
I like them now.
You wear one of those on the road, you stick out, and you're showing your Padre
I think
pride.
that was TG era. Tony Gwynn Jr. wore the mustards, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway,
I wouldn't look good in those.
enough uniform.
All right, let's talk
what's going on in the Padre
bone
world.
right
Let's talk baseball, Chris. We'll just start kind of generically. Mud was there, but what did we learn, if anything, about the Padres on their 4-2 road trip through Boston and Pittsburgh, Chris?
I don't know what we learned on this particular trip. I was just looking at the 6-6 record, and I think after 1-4 start, you got to be pretty happy to be 6-6. I think, a couple of things are really sticking out right now. The fact that the money bats in the lineup have yet to wake up. And also, I did a little looking this morning. I sent a note to you, Ben, but I was really surprised how much the bullpen is struggling so far. I didn't realize it until I went through each game. They've inherited 14 runners this year. 12 of those guys have scored. Mm-hmm. That's not what the Padre bullpen normally does. So when I look at those two things, I guess I'm pretty happy to be 6-6 because I don't expect both of those things to continue.
Mudley?
I agree. And if you were to tell me with those numbers, like you said, the struggling bullpen and 6-6 on the year, I'll take that because every team, look at the Dodgers in first place, the Yankees, they're going to have their skids during the course of the season. And all these bullpens, right? They're going to be coughing it up once in a while. So I think things will, pan out. And after 12 games, it's 6-6. I think, you know what? I'll take that right now. No problem.
Woods, did you have any takeaways from the 4-2 road trip?
Yeah, I was impressed with how resilient they were. And, the comeback in Boston, I thought was on Easter Sunday was fantastic. It was my favorite win of the year. And I really enjoyed yesterday's win a lot too. Grinding early, failed to capitalize. And then when the dam broke, they didn't stop. They knew they probably needed to add on. I loved the game the other day where it was you won the game with German Marquez going 5 innings, and then you didn't have to use a bunch of high leverage guys. But yeah, I think, guys are going to find their groove in the bullpen. As far as the offense goes, I said it this morning. I think hope isn't really a strategy for the offense. We've seen some offensive woes. So to placate or to ease some of my fears, be nice to get the offense going this weekend against Colorado.
I am less concerned about the starting pitching now. Not that they're going to have the best staff in the league by any stretch of the imagination, but seeing a good start from German Marquez, seeing, Griffin Canning, Matt Waldron throwing well in the minor leagues. Yep. I feel like there's enough depth there that, I think the Padres are going to be okay. And I wasn't 100% sure. We didn't know if Randy Vasquez was going to, carry over his spring training to the regular season. He's done that so far. Now we've seen 2 good starts from Nick Pivetta. We saw a pretty Michael King-like performance in the road trip finale against the Pirates.
He battled, man.
He did.
Yeah, I feel a little less worried. Not that there won't be some ups and downs, not that there won't be some depth issues at some point, but I'm calmer than I was a week ago about starting pitching. Braden, you saw some of it in person. Your takeaways from the road trip?
Yeah, I got to see Randy Vasquez pitch, and we had AJ Cassavell on yesterday. He says Randy Vasquez might be his favorite Padre right now, and I kind of agree with that. I mean, I like the way that he has been pitching. He's been creative. He's been, he's been really utilizing, I think, what he's been learning from Yu Darvish and the connection that we heard and from reports about his relationship with Yu Darvish. I think you're starting to see it with the way he attacks hitters. I think the way you see it with his stuff and his pitch mix. And on top of the fact that he's increased his velocity, he's been really good. I mean, when you look at the rotation, obviously, when you look at it from a name perspective, you're like, oh, man, well, after the first 2, it's going to fall off. Then Pivetta has that rough start to the year, and everybody's freaking out about the rotation. But it's going to be more than just the names that are going to get it through. It's going to be guys like Randy Vasquez. And I love the way that he pitched. I agree with you, you guys on the starting pitching, Ben, when it comes to, Nick Pivetta I thought Nick Pivetta's outing the other day wasn't too bad. I mean, he had that 68 mile-an-hour exit velo on the O'Neill Cruz down the line where he basically gets sawed off and gives up 2 runs. I mean, aside from that, he was pretty solid. And then it was great to see German Marquez really bounce back. So offensively, I agree with Woods. They got to get the offense going a little bit. But, based on how the schedule is played out, they're actually a game in front of where I thought they would be at the beginning of the season. So you got to love 6-6, especially after what they did at home compared to what they did on the road. And I didn't think they were super gritty at home in the first series, but I thought they were really gritty on the road series. I thought you really got to see that grit that they've talked about for the last couple of years.
Those 2 venues, Boston, always tough to play. Pittsburgh, younger rotation now. They've added some pieces. They're a good team. They're a really good team. But to just elaborate on the rotation, the one thing that I like regarding, like Braden said, Vasquez, Michael King, these guys are making in-game adjustments pitch to pitch. Michael King was pushing the changeup. He was missing arm side a lot yesterday. But I tell you what, when Don and I are in the booth, we're calling the game. Next thing you know, there's 5-6 innings of zeros up there, and it's a battle. 3 hits combined for each team. Randy Vasquez, could be the one guy to be the. I'm a big fan. We're all a big fan to see his progression from last year. The velocity getting a tick up. We saw it in spring training. So hey, it's going to be like you always say, ebbs and flows of the season. If the offense is not really where they're supposed to be, hopefully the rotation holds the opposition. If the rotation is giving up some runs, let's say, hopefully the Padres offense are going to score 5, 6, 7 runs a game.
All right, I have to admit that before he just chimed in, Mud gave me the subtle hand signal, like I've got something to contribute.
Yeah.
Like we've been working together for years. I felt like Donnie here.
Yeah.
Like it's probably what he does when he wants to add something. He gives that to Don, and I saw that.
You know what?
Like,
try that with Don. He just goes back and do all those.
I will kind of. I will kind of go like this and kind of go. Just let him finish his thought. So at times I'll walk.
I love that. Anytime you want to chime in, though, hey, you're a part of the team here, Mud. Just talk away for the next hour. It's our Epic Padres Roundtable presented by Epic Wings, always fresh, never frozen. Now, obviously, not everything is peachy keen at 6-6. Padres are getting less production out of their leadoff slot than any other team in baseball. Even after a couple of hits yesterday from Ramon Laureano, they're still at the bottom of the pack. We've seen Tatis, we've seen Cronenworth, we've seen Laureano. Guys, Braden will start at the other end this time. What do they need to do? Change it up again, leave Laureano there, put Tatis back there, try someone else. What's the solution for Craig Stammen?
Yeah, they got a serious leadoff problem. It's not just that. I mean, their leadoff guy to start a game has still yet to get a hit or reach base. I mean, they haven't even got a leadoff guy on to start games. And even on top of that, leading off innings, their numbers from guys leading off innings are very, very low. So it's something to do with, that leadoff spot. And honestly, like, even with the leading off innings, that could be anybody, right? That could be anybody in the order. They're having an issue with just being the first guy up in the inning. So I don't necessarily know it's going to be a certain person that gets the job done. If we're just continuing to throw guys out there to see what they do, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing Jackson Merrill get an opportunity to do that. But what I like about Ramon Laureano batting leadoff is he sees a lot of pitches. So, like, I think you got to let Ramon Laureano hit leadoff for the next couple of games. Still stick with that plan and see. I bet you eventually it will start to turn around because, again, they've faced a lot of good pitchers to start the season, a lot of good starting pitchers to start the year.
Toughest in baseball so far.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, without even like knowing the stat, I mean, I just based on watching them, you could just sit there like nobody's facing these guys at this point in the season. So I don't necessarily think it's an individual. I think you got to give it some time, but at the end of the day, it's not like any other real slot in the order is really doing a ton of damage either.
And the metrics do back that up. Saw the stat this morning. Chris, you like the numbers. Stuff Plus, which is one of the advanced metrics of the most movement, toughest velocity. No team has faced better, tougher pitchers through the first 12 games of the season than the San Diego Padres, and that's probably going to have an outsized impact even on the leadoff guy, who's the first guy that has to see that stuff without anybody else wearing him down, without seeing what kind of arsenal he's got. So they haven't been really set up to succeed at the leadoff spot yet either.
Well, you're right. I do like numbers. I don't like all those numbers. They don't mean anything to me. They mean the same as the analytics that tell me Jake Cronenworth can't cover any ground at second base. That's what the analytics say. Then I see him diving in short center field and turning double plays. So I don't pay attention too much to that. The one thing I would say is Fernando makes the most sense to move back in the leadoff spot, as long as he's going to be this Fernando, because we all wanted him in the middle of the order to, slug and drive in runs. Well, he's not doing that yet. So right now I'd almost go back to taking the walking Fernando of a year ago that gets on base and steals some bases. But I think this is just a 12-game stretch. I do. They're hitting 140. Their leadoff hitters. That's not going to hold up. So just keep it rolling and, visit it again at the end of the month.
I like the idea, like Braden was talking about, Ramon Laureano. I like his setup at the plate, starting it there. I like his idea of using the whole field. I like that he will take a walk. Right now, I see some at-bats for, like, we're throwing names out there. Fernando, for instance. There was one particular pitch yesterday. It was like a 3-1 count. It was a horrible breaking ball down and away, and he just kind of flailed at it.
Yep.
And I even mentioned something on the air. I said, that's not the kind of cut you want, 3-1.
Yeah.
And we know that he's going to get hot and get some streaks going, and there's going to be some valleys as well.
He punched on that. He punched out of that AB as well. He started 3-0.
Yes.
And took a good rip 3-1, and then took a good whip. He did have good rip 3-0, and then gets to 3-1, and then he punches.
And if I'm a pitcher, I see that, I read that, I see that swing, and I work accordingly. When I see Ramon Laureano, as a pitcher, you see a guy walk in the box. He's got that intensity about him. He's got that setup. Okay, this guy looks like he can cover pretty much a lot of the plate.
Yep, he'll go everywhere,
and he'll go over. And to me, that's just me, Mr. Vegas. I just want a guy who can
got a king.
Take a walk,
Vegas come
take a walk and spray a little duck fart here,
100%,
a little flare there, turn on something to get on base. Yep. So that's the way I'm thinking.
Woods, have they exhausted their options? I mean, we saw Xander Bogaerts in spring training a couple of times in the leadoff slot. Jackson Merrill certainly has the energy and speed to try it, but they don't seem like they've really been that eager to put him there. Or does it have to be one of the three that we've seen so far?
Yeah, I'm fine. Ramon got a couple knocks yesterday. It hadn't gone particularly well to that point. But you're talking about the first AB of a game, right? And when it comes back around, who do you want getting the lion's share of the ABs? At this point, I'm fine with Laureano 1, Merrill 2, or vice versa. Flip-flop those guys, righty, lefty, and go from there, because those are the guys right now on this team I want getting the most ABs.
Miguel Andujar.
Miguel Andujar. No, I think, something of that nature would benefit the Padres greatly, but it's a spot in the order that is so important, really, one time. And then it comes back around, and they're going to be getting all these ABs. I remember all the consternation 2 weeks ago about, hey, you can't bat Fernando fourth because we need him to get the extra 57 at bats or something that come right now. I'd rather have Ramon Laureano or Jackson Merrill getting those ABs.
You talk about leadoff hitters getting on twice yesterday, though. They got the leadoff hitter on second, and the next hitter did not move them to third. So getting the leadoff hitter on is not going to work unless you're going to back it up. The execution offensively, as John McKay used to say, I'm in favor of executing them. They're not doing the job. They're not doing the job right now. And
you missed the first inning.
Yeah, right. I'm in favor. Right. The execution's not good right now. So the offense stinks. And they've scored 46 runs, which looks okay. 9 of those are unearned runs. They're doing a good job of taking advantage of some mistakes, but we know they can hit better than this.
You missed the first inning sacrifice bunt, don't you?
No, not necessarily.
All right.
But when they do put a sacrifice bunt on, I wouldn't mind the guy getting the bat on the ball.
We haven't seen one all season from the Padres. I think
Bryce Johnson
squared once, didn't get it down. I don't think there's been a sack bunt through the first 2 weeks.
Let me pose you guys a question. You've got obviously there's going to be 3 guys coming up in the first inning. Who do you want in that 4th spot? Hoping that one guy gets on, but you want your best 3 hitters, right, to do something. And you want Fernando. I think you need Fernando, obviously, because I like his speed when he gets on base.
Sure.
And so that's just an interchangeable question.
But I think,
first 3.
You look at the batting averages down the board, they're not great.
No.
But you look at OBP, man, he's at 400 OBP right now. He's getting on base. He's taking his walks. He's been pretty patient. He only has the 1 home run. I think Manny Machado is your cleanup hitter. I do. Because he does have the ability to still punish mistakes and drive in runs. And he's been a run producer his entire career. Why stop now?
But Miguel Andujar is hot. Nick Castellanos is hitting for extra bases.
I love Nick.
Can you move them
I
up
like
in
Nick
the order
towards the bottom, get some guys on for him.
And I want to talk about that because there's a bit of a love triangle with Gavin Sheets, Miguel Andujar, and Nick Castellanos. You can't really play them all at the same time, but you want to get their bats into the lineup. But if you do, you can suffer defensively. We saw, Castellanos out and left when he replaced Laureano one day. That wasn't great. He's still learning first base, but you put him there, then Sheets probably has to come out, or Andujar has to come out because only one can DH. Woods, how do you kind of manage the triangle of those 3 if you're Craig Stammen to try to maximize the effectiveness of each of those players?
I think Craig's done a good job with this so far. He's gotten everybody involved and everybody active, and Fermin and Campusano splitting duties, and Campy coming up with some big hits. Like, I think so far so good. I know some people think there's just been a lot of tinkering so far, but I think you have to tinker. A lot of teams do that. And I think you have to right now. You got to find out who's going to be in their groove. Benny, I don't really like to sacrifice defense very much. I think it's, as Chris just pointed out, Some of the games we've won has been because of poor defense from the other team. And I don't think you can put Casti in the outfield, and I don't think you can have Miguel Andujar in the infield a bunch, or the outfield either. So I got to roll best defense. I got to roll hot hand. I'm sure this is a new experience for Castellanos, who's playing every day. He's done great so far with it. He really has, and I think Miguel has too. I think you just have to pick your spots. As basic as that is, I think you just have to pick your spots, play the matchups. We've seen Andujar in there against righties. He's been left in for righties at times. It's worked out sometimes it hasn't. But I like the fact that everybody has gotten involved. I brought it up on the show this week. Tony Vitello in San Francisco. They got a kid that comes out, goes 3 for 3 in his debut. He's barely been seen since at the catching position because they want Andrew Bailey and his great defense and no hitting out there. They have guys on the bench that hadn't even gotten an AB 10 games into the season. And it's like, well, what do you have a bench for if you're not going to pinch hit in big spots? So I think Craig has done a good job so far getting guys involved and letting them know, hey, man, even Ty France, like you got an AB yesterday. You're part of this team. We're going to need everybody to contribute.
And you need guys to buy into that.
They have to buy into it. It seems like they have so far.
I think so, too. I think that's been the overall mindset of the club.
Is it hard though, Mud, for guys like veterans like Castellanos and Duhar who go, I'm hitting, I should be in the lineup every single day. No one else is hitting. I'm hitting, and yet I find myself on the bench 2 or 3 days out of the week. Why am I not in there more?
Well, it's like what you said. There's a lot of matchups. There's a lot of stuff going on. Craig Stammen, believe you me, and you guys know this. I'm not telling you guys anything new. With his coaching staff and the AJ Preller and everybody, they're getting prepared for games and they're doing matchups and they're having everybody in the right spot, which they feel. And I know we all have opinions. If we're talking defense and we're talking first base, to me, and I know there's going to be matchups, I like Gavin Sheets.
Yep.
I think I would give Gavin Sheets the lion's share of first base. I think Gavin is a kid who's going to, with more reps, and I mentioned this.
Yeah, I heard that.
As far as it's like a kid under center. You get more snaps. I think things will come and be better for Gavin Sheets.
I'm trying to figure out Gavin Sheets. He's made every routine, solid plays, grab the throws, but anything that requires a step or two, that's by him.
Yeah,
there it goes. I know.
I was really surprised that he didn't glove that one to his left the other day.
But he turned the really, really tough 3-6, 3-6-1 double play a couple of times and had good instincts and gave good feeds. Again, like Mud says, it's reps. It's reps.
Can they? I'm going to ask Mud this because he's with the team more. But I brought it up last week. I think it's mismanagement to leave a Gold Glove winning first baseman sitting on the bench next to you up by a run or two in the 8th inning. Gavin Sheets is getting better. He's learning. But you got Ty France in a 2-run lead. I don't know why they're not making that change. I think they did it one time in Fenway.
Yeah.
Is there any reasoning? Could it be one of these things where Craig Stammen trying to roll with Gavin Sheets and say, hey, I believe in you, and not get him to feel like he's looking over his shoulder? Because it makes more sense for me to Ty France to be in there.
I can't answer that. I'd have to ask Craig that, but that's a very valid point. You're going Dave Stapleton over Bill Buckner.
Right, yeah,
base.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, no, but hey, I see your point, and that's something that Craig would have to be asked.
Yeah. Braden, you want to chime in on Andujar, Sheets, Castellanos?
I'm in favor of playing whoever's swinging the stick a little bit more. I view it as if you got out of the 3 phases of baseball, if 2 of them are elite and 1 of them is poor, which are you taking? And to me, I'm taking elite pitching for sure, and then I'm taking elite hitting over elite defense where I have to have poor hitting. So for me, I always view, and there's different ways to view it. Like Woods wants to view it on a defensive side. I view it from we got to generate some offense. I want it more from an offensive side. Both have their pros and their cons. I think you got to try to play the best lineup you possibly can. But that being said, I agree with the whole sentiment of this conversation. I don't think you can have those 3 guys like in the lineup together from a defensive perspective at all. I mean,
unless there's an injury, no.
Right? No, you're going to be in a world of hurt because one of them's going to have to play like the outfield, right? Or you have Andujar at third base or somewhere that you don't want him to be playing, and so I think that's a little bit of a problem. I love Miguel Andujar, by the way. I think he has done a great job. The other thing too, with these 3 players, yes, I understand the whole I'm hitting, I should be in the lineup. I think a lot of these three in particular, I think there's something to be said about them being spot start bench guys, and that's where they're going to have success over an everyday starter.
Yep.
There's a lot of times where the Padres in way years past had a guy that they brought in to be a good bench piece. Guy dominated on the bench. It's like, oh, let's put him in the starting lineup. And then he's in the starting lineup for like 2 or 3 weeks, and he doesn't have that same level of success. I think you let these guys continue to do what they're doing. It doesn't seem like they're very disgruntled about it. And it's a reason why I think these guys are having this kind of success. Like the Phillies can't have Castellanos do this role in Philadelphia for $20 million.
Right.
The Padres could do it for league minimum. It makes a lot more sense. I think that's how these three players are. And I think you got to keep doing the same thing. I think Craig's done a great job of getting everybody on this team involved.
Everybody.
Everybody
Johnson,
is playing.
Everybody's getting starts from time to time.
Don't you think more teams though are going the offensive route rather than sacrificing defense?
They are.
Isn't that the way this game of baseball is going?
Yeah, they are.
Don't you want the sticks in there, and we'll sacrifice a guy in right field or whatever?
Well, the funny thing is we don't have offense.
Dave Stapleton.
You know what I mean? Like
that season, by the way.
We don't have offense.
You and I may know the only ones knowing this reference.
It's PR though, because a guy goes 0 for 4 in the lineup and strikes out 3 times. Everyone sees that in the box score. A guy makes every solid routine play. No one sees that in the box score, but the manager
helps you win the game.
The manager appreciates that.
Well,
that helped us win.
I'm all about pitching and defense. I mean, going back, that's what wins you championships.
But like, Fernando, who has not checked in with the bat very much, man, he's checked in with the glove, and helped us win. If Nick Castellanos is out there, none of those plays are made. Zero.
What was the catch probability on that one? Like 10% or something like that. The one at Fenway, and he almost caught the one that was the home run on that Friday game against the Red Sox. I mean, he catches that, which would have been unbelievable.
Meyer, just over his glove.
Yeah,
those 2 balls he went into the gap.
Right. It
was like he came out of nowhere.
Look, you can get too cute. You can get way too cute. I think honestly, one of the teams that's most guilty of getting too cute is the Boston Red Sox. I think they are getting way too cute with their lineups, their matchups, and it's not working for them. Now, for us, those 3 guys that you mentioned, Sheets, Andujar, and Castellanos, none of them are defensive specialists by any stretch of the imagination. So, if you have to get them in, I would say get them in. Castellanos has done such a good job. Get him in late in the game, right? Or get him in early. So let him start the game. Things falter, then you have
Ty France come in defensively, and Bryce Johnson come in defensively.
Exactly.
Is baseball yet talking, Mud, the behind the scenes, the 3 DH rule? That would be good for the Padres.
That would be elite.
Yeah, they would get Andujar, Castellanos, and Sheets.
Yeah, like in men's softball, you can have an EH, an extra hit.
This is kind of going off on a tangent, but you talk about changing the rules of baseball. Why not like football? You have your best offense and defense.
That's right.
Why don't you have your 1 through 9 offensively, and then you have your defense?
It would be unbelievable.
Right?
Rosters would be huge.
Just a thought.
Are you in Rob Manfred's ear?
It's not a bad idea, but you just doubled the roster size. I don't think the owners are going to like that.
The next CBA, they're going to bring Mud in. It's like, oh, you want a salary cap? Well, then you got to double our roster size to have specialty positions.
Offense and defense.
It's our Epic Padres Roundtable presented commercial free by Epic Wings. Always fresh, never frozen. Mud, have you checked out the table? It's not just the wings, the breadsticks. If you go too crazy, though, Don's going to get his pointer back out on the midsection.
That's a great spread. Donnie would be all over that there.
I've been told that they
thanks to Epic Wings.
They might throw the chicken fries in there one time. They don't travel. Have you had the chicken fries?
I have not tried the chicken fries.
Oh my god, the chicken fries, Ben. Those are top notch.
Sometimes Mud says not a sponsor, is a sponsor.
Is a sponsor.
Is a sponsor.
And we're glad to have him. But I thought since we have Mud here, we better have a little bit of fun on this roundtable. So we're bringing back the roundtable draft.
We bring the fun.
Mud, here's how it works. I give a question. Everyone gets to pick one answer, but it has to be different than the answer before. So you can't take one that's already drafted. Let you go last because this actual question refers to you. We'll start Braden Woods, LO me, and then Mud. What is your favorite Mark Grant catchphrase on Padres television broadcast, Braden?
I don't know if I've seen him do this. I don't know if you've done this a ton recently, but I use it on the USD broadcast. Me and my color analyst Mike Gosling, who loves you, by the way, loves watching your games. If he hits it, it's a double on the check swings. And the recurring bit
it's a great invention.
The recurring bit, just as a pitcher, evering is a swing to Mark.
Everything.
Even for the Padres, that's the
Jackson
best part.
Merrill yesterday.
He went.
It's like, he went. I'm like, he didn't go. I'm yelling at TV. He didn't go.
Yeah, I got it as a swing.
That's a swing.
I think it's a double.
I saw him in the booth. I'm like this. I go.
Yeah.
I saw a recent video of old school. They were going up against Sandy Koufax. They swung like 98% of the way, and they go, "No, that's a check
posted
swing."
that.
Did you post that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's incredible. Yes, against the Twins. Yeah,
literally, a guy goes like this
all the way around.
And then Sandy says, "No, he didn't go."
And then Sandy doesn't even blink an eye.
I don't want to add it to the draft, but I remember this is gonna make Mark feel old. I feel bad. I remember I had a Major League Baseball blooper video.
Oh, it was the best thing ever.
It's the funniest thing. But like as a kid, I had no idea that was Mark Grant until like literally 5 years ago.
Doing all the
Mud's doing all the umpire impersonations. It is the funniest
I had the same video. I'm way older than you are. I had the exact same video
so great.
Growing up. And there's a guy, I didn't know I'd be friends with this guy one day. And there he is behind doing,
the head nod.
That was a pregame show, TV pregame show with Dave Campbell.
Whose idea was all of that?
In Montreal? It was Dave Campbell's.
Dave Campbell. Okay.
He approached me in Montreal. He goes, "Hey, want to be on the pregame show today?" I said, "Sure, no problem." He goes, "Let's do your umpire. Let's do your bits."
So good.
Oh my
so they
God.
wired me up. It was at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and I had a great relationship with the umpires. Got to know them, and that's just the way I am.
Yep.
And got to know their traits and the way they do things. And
who was that?
You were batting stance guy before that existed.
That's right.
That's
right.
Gar's great, by the way. I love Gar.
Yeah, you missed your social media era. That would have gone viral back in the day.
You would have been a TikTok star.
Woods, your draft pick for favorite Mud catchphrase.
Oh, this is easy for me, man. Any Fletch reference. It's all ball bearings these days. Or it looks like you guys it looks like you guys need a refresher course. I mean, when he does, Fletch is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Pup and Taco.
It's just the greatest when he does it. When he does it,
guy killed himself here with a bow and arrow. Weird.
I have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich.
Can you work in what kind of a name is Poon tonight into the broadcast, please? Comanche Indian. It's elite. And my kids love Fletch too. So we watch Fletch, and then when Mud does it, it's all ball bearings these days. Gets me every time.
Chris Ello, favorite Mudism?
I just want to, in general, I want to thank him for the entertainment that we get watching a game. I mean, we're so lucky we don't even know it. I text him at least a couple of times a year when he hits a perfect movie reference.
Yeah.
And I also feel like when you hit a perfect movie reference, sometimes I might be one of the few that know that reference.
I'm with you.
So that's why I want to text you to let you know that somebody's on that. But I was just going to use the umpire one. Dutch Rennert and John McSherry are easily my favorites. You went back through the golden days of umpiring, and it's just a brilliant performance. That video, everyone should see it. If you haven't ever seen it, go to YouTube and find Mark Grant, doing the umpire thing. It's so incredible. But just thanks for all of the funny lines.
So many.
Because we're lucky that we have that. A lot of broadcasts don't get that.
Slap some cheese on it. Some kind of nice. I mean, there's so many to choose from. But you know me, Woods. I'm very, very dry in my humor.
No.
So anytime a ball goes into the left field corner, and Mud call 811 before you did. It's just
that's one of my favorites.
Slays me every time.
You should hear the guys in the truck. Jason Lewis, our producer, he goes, "Mud, hit replay," and he goes, remind people where to call. This is when in the replay I said, "Oh boy, you really turned on that fastball. Look at him get the hands in, got the barrel of the ball, keeping it fair. And remember, call 811 before you did. Play it safe."
You have to fill out the bid. Someday, sadly, we lost Mud Grant today. He forgot to call 811 before he dug.
One of my favorites. Speaking of umpires, I love it when Lance Barksdale is on the crew because he's the crew chief, right? He's been around a long time, and I met Lance last year in the tunnel in Atlanta through another umpire. So we're introducing to the umpires and Lance Barksdale. Hey, Mark, I go, "Hey, Mr. Hand, how you doing?"
What's going on?
Just like
he
him.
looks just like
whenever he makes a call, I say,
Mr. Hand.
Did he go along with that?
Oh, he chuckled. He chuckled. Yeah. And anytime
Ray
he makes
Walston,
a call, I say, "Here, Mr. Hand's got the challenge call or whatever," and then we'll just pause and I'll just say, "Mr. Spicoli, what is the reason for your truancy?"
It's so good.
Just it's a tired act.
Well, next time you see Don Orsillo in a new suit, I want you to say, "Hey, Don, where'd you get that jacket?"
Hey, where'd you get that jacket?
Got it from the network.
Stu Nahan
you knew Stu, right?
I did.
Stu Nahan.
Stu was great.
Yeah.
Stu was great.
He was also did an excellent job in the Academy Award-winning movie Rocky.
Yes,
Stu Nahan, quite an actor, actually.
Yeah.
Goes along with the old line from I don't remember the name of this movie, but you'll remember the line. Barney Rubble. What an actor.
Night Shift.
Night Shift.
Right.
Yeah.
Michael
That's a
Keaton.
great movie.
Right.
Right.
Mud, do you have a favorite, or are they like your children? You can't pick among.
You can't pick them, and it's like, you know, you get into the routine, you get into a situation, and something comes up. I love talking about the giveaways. I wore the puffer this whole road trip.
We couldn't tell.
The puffer vest is great. So one of my favorites is after we talk about it, hey, come and get yours. Makes a great gift.
Makes a great gift. Yeah, it's a good bit. It's a good bit. I feel like a lot of your bits, much like mine,
they're all stolen.
They fall on deaf ears.
No one ever gives them out. They always keep them.
No. I feel like they fall on deaf ears. We both have partners that look at us, but they don't really hear us. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you'll say something, and it's just like the eyes glaze over.
I learned something a long time ago when Maddie V and I were on the Quattro, the countywide leader. We would say a line, a movie line or something, whatever, and we'd go to break, and I say, "Hey, Maddie, how many people got that?" He goes, "Mud, let me tell you something. As long as there's one person out there that gets it,
that's it.
You've done your job."
That's right.
And I've taken that to the bank each and every night.
That's right.
Going on the air. If there's only one person, I might get a text.
I was going through my closet the other day. I have an old Channel 4 jacket. Would you like it?
No.
You want me to? No, you don't want
Put that thing up on eBay. You'll make a fortune.
Look like a bowling jacket.
It's a blue one. It's nice, but it's got the logo. Yeah,
it's a members only jacket.
Send it to the
you, John Weisbarth, Jenny Kavner. You got the old Channel 4
Good
jackets.
Good times. Tim Flannery was on that.
Let's move on here. This is a bit of a philosophical question, but also a statistical one. In many of the Padres' losses this season, the Padres afterwards, Craig Stammet has mentioned it, that they felt like they got very unlucky, that they've hit atom balls, or the other team has hit balls that found holes. What do you guys think about that? Is that a good attitude to have? Is that a bad attitude to have? Do you believe what you're seeing, Mud, when they say, you know, hey,
it's the
right approach? Yeah, you say
hang with them. It's a hang with them. It's a long season. Sometimes luck's going your way. Sometimes it's not. It's just you got to keep hacking, keep battling. And I know it sounds cliche, but hey, every team goes through it. Runner in scoring position, you barrel one up and it's right to the guy. It's an atom ball.
But I've seen teams where they'll keep saying that and you go, but maybe you should try to make some changes now, because it's not
to
working
me.
out.
I say don't change that thing. That's my philosophy. It happened in Pittsburgh. Xander squared one up.
Yep.
And right at a guy, whatever, great swing, had that sound. I said, Xander, keep swinging, man. There's nothing you could change there. Don't change a thing.
Yeah, that's baseball in a nutshell. And the one thing, Benny, I will say is, you know, defensively, a lot of balls have found holes against us. So I've seen Manny and Xander shift a little bit more maybe than you. Okay, yeah, that's something you can look at. Maybe you could clean that up. But you're playing the percentages. That's not a guess. They're not. Manny doesn't just walk over to that spot because he feels.
But you know, half the fans, every time a ball goes through where he should be, every fan goes, "What are we doing?
What are we doing?" Right?
You never notice it when he makes the play.
You're playing the numbers, right? Yeah. And you're trying to shrink the odds there. So when I watch this team, we talked about this yesterday, I don't get the sense like, man, we're just getting robbed all over the ballpark offensively. I don't. But I do get the sense defensively, yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I think a lot of balls have squibbed in spots where our guys weren't. And I think that's something that you can clean up, but you keep playing the percentages and it will work out in your favor.
But you have to take into consideration hitter count, situation. There might be, I think it was O'Neal Cruz who snuck that ball in between Manny. Manny was over at shortstop.
Yeah, O'Neal Cruz.
O'Neal Cruz. Did you see the swing, the pitch? It's like he's fighting for his life. And he got beat. It got down by the knuckles. He pushed it that way, and it was a 28 hopper. It just that happens.
Braden, you buy Padres have been unlucky for the first 12?
I'll buy some of it. I do think like you can't put all of them hitting 140 on just luck. But I will say, like Mark said it with Xander, I find Xander to be incredibly unlucky a lot of the times. I mean, the balls that he scorches happen to be right at somebody.
He also leads the league in infield singles, which there's some luck involved in that as well.
True.
So it does balance out a bit.
But still, like, I mean, I watch him when he hits the ball hard, he gits out. When he hits the ball lousy, he gets on base. So that's kind of how that works, I guess. But I feel like the Padres have a little bit of hang with them, tough luck. And I think you could say that for the first 12 games. I don't think you could. If they're saying that in May,
that's a problem.
We're going to have a different conversation.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it's like you're 12 games in, I mean, because they could go over, if this was in the middle of June, this 12-game stretch, you'd be like, yeah, well, we're getting unlucky right now because it's going to happen. It's magnified because of the fact it's the first 12 games of the season.
Beginning of the year, yeah.
But I think there's a little bit of bad luck with the Padres right now, but it can't it's not going to be the excuse for every one of the batters not hitting well.
Think about the Mariners the other night. 3 bombs, no bombs. Joe Adell gets them all. He brings them all back.
Robs everyone.
You want to talk about bad luck? Now that's some bad luck. And they're batting about $104 as a team right now.
Yeah,
and
if you feel bad about the Padre averages, look at the Mariners right now.
And again, that to me screams bad luck.
Let's not feel bad for them because they come in here next week.
I think it's a little one-sided statement, Ben, and I never disagree with you, at least as far as you know. And
right,
you tell your, is that what you tell your wife too?
Well, I think I think the Padres have had a lot of luck too, though.
They've had some good luck.
Come on, Brian Reynolds stumbles and allows a 2-run
Chris,
double.
that's why they're 6-6.
Loses it in the sun, and Casey Schmidt can't catch a throw twice.
That's Matt Chapman.
Both of their 4-run rallies yesterday.
The effing ball.
And then Matt Chapman got paid back for that too with some dumb base running.
Do you think Schmidt in the dugout said hit the effing ball after he struck out in that game? I would have said.
I hope he did. Both of their 4-run rallies yesterday started on throwing errors by the shortstop.
Yep.
So I think they've had a lot of luck, and I think if you're going to say they've been unlucky, I think you're not looking at the whole picture.
But no, I bring it up because I think it reads sometimes some fans as excuse making. When they hear that, they don't want to hear it from the manager. Yeah, it's true sometimes, but you can't keep playing that card. As Braden said, we're still saying that in May. You just can't keep.
But
playing
Mark's
that
right
card.
too. It evens out. We don't always notice the other when it evens in our favor. Yeah. We only get frustrated when it's against us.
It's our Epic Padres Roundtable, sponsored by Epic Wings, always fresh, never frozen. And I realize that there's no answer to this question, but Padres have 13 pitchers on the staff. They've had the same 13. No one has pitched fewer innings or thrown fewer pitches than the guy who might be the best pitcher or maybe even player in baseball. So you have judiciously used Mason Miller for 4 save situations and then one fairly meaningless inning yesterday with an 8-2 lead in front of his hometown Pittsburgh crowd.
That was the meaningful part that he got.
I get it. No, I get that. But is there possibly a better, when you have the best player maybe in the league, should he also be the least used player on your roster, or is there a better way to use Mason Miller more effectively, a little bit more? No, we'll just say
12. I mean, it's 12 games in. I think it's been really smart. I mean, look, there was that time that I'm like, yes, like in game 2 or whatever, we didn't chase a 4-run save or a 4-out save for Mason Miller. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. About 5 days later, I was like, oh, good, you went and got a 4-out save. I'm into that, because we needed that win badly. I think Mason Miller has been managed perfectly. In a perfect world, you're wringing your knuckles together every night because we got another save situation, but we've used him 3 games in a row. That's the situation we want to be in with Mason Miller, and hopefully this team gets to that point where then we're worried about are we using him too much, because that means he's coming in to close games.
Well, I think the beauty, and Chris alluded to it earlier, as far as I think it was Chris. I don't want to pin this on you regarding the Padres bullpen as far as not throwing well, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to change. I mean, let's face it, that's going to change. And if Mason Miller is in a situation where he's used up, I think they have a capability. We all know this, to where another guy can come in a pinch, and maybe a 3-run save would be better.
Yes.
Right. One run save that's a save.
Give me Mason.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Give me Mason.
But I think they do have that capability of in a pinch. He's going to get 99% of the save situation.
I get it. And Chris, but you kind of see where I'm thinking. Like when you have the best player in baseball,
you want him hitting cleanup.
Yeah, hit him clean
that's a good idea.
Maybe he can swing the stick.
I think he's
shortstop. You know what? We found our leadoff guy, guys. It's Mason Miller. Let's see how he does.
I predicted he was going to win the Cy Young Award this year, and I think he's headed in that direction. I don't know how it'll all turn out, but I mean, what he's doing is crazy. Your question is always and intrigues me to the point where I picture our friend Rich Goose Gossage, who's just threw something at the radio because we keep talking about 1 inning and overusing a guy. Gossage came in the 6th inning. He got the last 11 outs, and he went and drank a beer, and the next day he got 11 more outs. What I'm saying is I know it's a different world. I know they throw harder. But will there ever be a time when we do angle back to that style again?
No.
Mike Marshall once pitched 104 games for the Dodgers and won the Cy Young. So you don't think they'll ever use a reliever for 2 innings?
I don't think so.
I mean, you know what I mean. Stretch out a closer though, and say get the last 6 outs like Mariano did in the World Series
like in September and
Different
October.
type of thrower,
Okay,
though.
but how about 3 innings?
No.
Would you just never do it?
I wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't either.
Everybody's redlining. Everybody's getting hurt.
Yeah, redlining is the thing.
Plus, but also, Chris, like Goose Gossage wasn't doing that every single day as a kid. Like these kids now, like Woods has young kids that play baseball.
Yep.
And literally, when they get to travel ball, those travel ball coaches are pitching the you-know-what out of kids.
And I bet Mason was
in
one of
all
those kids.
tournaments. I mean, the guys that are at the pro level, you tell me they didn't play travel ball?
Yeah, well,
at
those
this
kids are
time?
pitching. Gossage was doing 12-ounce curls. He was getting ready.
Yeah,
Come on.
not as a 14-year-old.
And don't take a shot at the Goose over here. He'll find you.
I'm not taking a shot at the Goose, but what I'm saying
What do
is,
you think, Ben?
it's a different era.
Yeah, Ben, what do you think of Goose Gossage?
Yeah.
I think you.
No,
what do
but
I
like
think of
an
Mason Miller?
11-out save. Is that we're never going to see?
Clearly
In October, maybe.
Clearly, you have to protect arms early in the season, so it's
Early, yeah.
But it does make me feel like, boy, the Padres have a weapon. Is it a weapon because they use it so judiciously, or could they find a way to use that weapon just a little bit more?
You want to use them a little bit more, have a little bit better of an offense. Go take more leads into the 8th or 9th.
Mud, we always do a 7th inning stretch. It's a non-baseball question, and I thought with Mud here, to make it movie related.
Okay,
and we got the Artemis astronauts coming back from Earth. So today's question, you can go first if you want. What is your favorite movie involving space travel?
Apollo 13.
Okay, quick answer.
It's a good one.
The astronauts who didn't make it to the moon but made it back safely.
That's one with Tom Hanks and those guys, right?
Bill Paxton.
The capability of this phone, what those guys had to do, put together to get back, to go and get back, it's just remarkable, the technology and how much it's advanced.
I saw something like the phone had 200,000 times more computing capability than what they had for the entire mission.
Yeah, they build that filter out of screws and gum.
Here's a jock strap, a pack of gum.
It's amazing.
And a coat hanger.
Ed Harris was nothing but resourceful, if not resourceful.
I just watched that movie with my kids, and my favorite part is Gary Sinise, who's coming in. They left him off the mission, and he comes in and he's got to simulate it. And he stays in there and simulates it until they get it right. And they over and over. And you talk about a team and being selfless. And that was the lesson I showed my kids. I'm like, look at this dude grinding. He's not even up there. He actually, not only is he not up there, they told him, you can't go. And he's still in there helping to grind. I thought it was
And he was
so
grinding
cool.
with no legs as Captain Dan.
Exactly.
That was really a good
Lieutenant
performance
Dan.
Ice
by
cream.
Gary Sinise.
Lieutenant Dan.
Braden, space
You ain't got
travel
no
movie?
legs.
I like that. What's that movie with what is it, like Martian? Where the guy's like making potatoes.
Matt Damon.
That was
So
Matt
good.
Damon. I think that one's pretty good.
Brilliant.
Woods, you're not a
I
big
just did Apollo
sci-fi.
13.
Yeah, you got Apollo 13.
Interstellar's great.
Yeah, I like Interstellar
It's
too.
a good one.
I have a sneaky one here. I don't know that anyone on the panel will know it except maybe Mudcat because he likes crazy stuff. But my favorite space travel movie, one of the stars of it is O.J. Simpson. And the name of the movie is Capricorn 1.
Oh, yeah.
And it is
Filmed in a studio.
Well, the whole
moon
idea
landing,
is
right?
that the moon landing is filmed in a studio, but they actually had to shoot a rocket up saying that the astronauts were in there to make it look good. Well, the rocket explodes on television. The astronauts in the studio are going, oh, no, they're going to come.
So they go up in a Bronco.
A Ford Bronco? No, the astronauts in the studio were worried that they were going to get killed because
They have to make it real.
They had to make it real like they really died in the
Right.
James Brolin, O.J.
That's in the-
Simpson is
that's
one of the
70s.
astronauts. 70s. Capricorn 1,
Yeah.
sneaky good.
I'll go back to one that I liked as a kid because I was a Star Trek fan. It's the corniest movie ever. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, where they have to go back in time to find the
Excuse me?
whales and bring
Don't
them
remember.
back to the future to save the planet
I was
because the
never a
whales
Trekkie.
have been
No, me neither.
extinct.
I was
No.
never a Trekkie.
I'm such
no
a
trekkers
I'm such
in
a
the-
terrible Trekkie that I saw that movie in the theater, and 3/4 of the way through, one of the characters goes, "Hey, Scotty, beam me up," and I'm like, "Oh, that's where that came from."
Yeah.
Beam me up, Scotty. I had no
That's-
idea.
That's some Star
Space
Trek. You didn't
Lord.
even know.
Sturdy.
All right, let's finish. Couple minutes left. Around baseball, any team in Major League Baseball that has been either a positive or negative surprise so far? Woods, you're nodding. You got a team that kind of stands out to you early that has been surprising?
I mean, positive or negative?
Yeah.
I mean, the Colorado Rockies have really surprised me, my friend. 6-6, same record. Again, I said it this morning. They don't know they're supposed to be bad. They always play the Padres tough. These are the. I don't drink much anymore. These are
kryptonite.
I know this is the series that makes me like I reach for the Gentleman Jack. This weekend.
You reached for it last year when we played the Rockies, even though they couldn't win a game.
I did
13 times a year, man.
I did, man. It's like that Gentleman Jack is there for a reason. So they're really like if you're a Rockies fan, you are elated 6-6 right now. They don't know that they don't know
they have a better
team
ERA than the Padres.
They do, and their offense is 20 rankings higher than ours.
Well,
right
since
now.
we were talking about space earlier, re-entry is going to be really, really rough, I think, for the Rockies.
Yes.
You took the words right out of my mouth because I was going over some stuff, and the Rockies are a team that's like, whoa, I didn't expect this.
Right.
How about the two American League Championship Series contenders last year, the Mariners and the Blue Jays? You mentioned the Mariners' offensive woes so far, but the Blue Jays,
they're banged up.
Spend some money. They had Dylan Cease. Yeah, they've been a little injured, but have not been able to get it going. They did get the win over the Dodgers in the series finale, but they almost got swept in that one as well.
Their rotation is torch. Cody Ponce went down, first start back. Savage is down. I mean, I think that's going to be a better team. But you lost Bo Bichette from that team as well. So they got the new third baseman from Japan that is an absolute butcher with the glove, not hitting, and it's rough. But I think you get Savage and those guys back. I think it could be a much different team.
The Mariners are. If you feel bad about the Padre hitters right now, and I think you should go look up the averages of Cal Raleigh, Josh Naylor. The former Padre is hitting 104 with no extra base hits. Julio Rodriguez, you think Fernando's struggling? Julio Rodriguez doesn't have an extra base hit yet.
Yep.
Those are all on the same team. So they're 4-9 for a reason, and that's the worst record in baseball, which I don't think anybody had on their bingo card.
After opening day, I thought the Tigers are going to be really good.
And they're
4-8 right now. They got swept by the Diamondbacks after they came here.
And they have, and we pointed it out on the show this morning. There are only 3 teams in the American League with winning records and only 2 teams in the National League with losing records. And that could actually play out. I know it's still early, but if you're competing for a wild card spot, right now it looks like the National League is going to be a much harder league to make the playoffs in than the American League, which if you had set your sights on 86 wins, gets you in, you might need to set it quite a bit higher. And I know that changes. Last year, 83 got the Cincinnati Reds into the playoffs. Doesn't look like there's any chance that 83 wins will be enough in the National League to get into the playoffs. So series like the ones against the Pirates, who could be a wild card contender, not only do you want to make sure you get some wins, but that could come in as tiebreakers late in the season as well.
As Woodsy said, these 2 series coming up early. I'm sure it's early, but these are big. Huge. These are big.
They're all big.
Make some hay here. Let's return the Rockies to their normal self this weekend. I remind everybody that when they came here last year at this time, not only did the Padres sweep the series, the Rockies did not score.
That's true.
That's right.
The entire weekend. This is a 4-game series, so they'll have one extra chance.
I blocked that out. I blocked that out of my memory. I only remember the bad against the Rockies.
I'll throw in the St. Louis Cardinals as well. I was pretty sure everyone told me that they weren't going to even be trying to win.
They're not trying to win.
A winning record at 7-5, and name more than 2 or 3 St. Louis Cardinals at this point in the season.
How about Jordan Walker for them? Was a highly touted prospect.
Woken up.
He's changed something in his swing, and he's got 5 bombs right now. He's unbelievable. JJ Weatherhold, obviously the rookie. They're a fun little team too.
They're
Again,
good right
the pundits keep telling you you're supposed to be bad, but if you don't believe it, it doesn't have to come true.
Last place teams right now: Mariners, Tigers. In the American League East, Red Sox, and the Cubs. All 4 were in the playoffs last year.
And
They're
all 4
in last
predicted
place at the moment.
Yeah, all 4 predicted to have huge seasons.
I think it's also a reminder how early in the year we are.
That's right. They could all be there at the end.
We almost got Woods going on prospects. Mudd, if you want to get into a nice 2-hour conversation after the roundtable is over, ask Woods about his baseball cards, and he will talk.
My latest addiction. My wife is literally she's about to divorce me. Yeah, she's this close.
What type of cards?
All of them. I have old. I have new.
You're going back to the childhood days where.
Oh, I'm all in.
Card collecting.
Yeah,
really,
it's awful.
That sounds awful.
It's awful.
It's bad.
What's
Ben, you got to take him out of the links.
Get him
out of the house.
My most valuable card is probably my Kevin McGonigal 1-of-1 autograph. I got it listed on eBay for $750 right now.
$7.50.
$750.
Hey, Woods,
If you saw what they're paying for Shohei Ohtani rookies, it's in the $25,000 to $50,000 range for these cards.
Mud, thank you so much for coming in.
Hey,
we're out of time. That was great.
Great job, Mudley.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for all you guys do. I know you guys are the 97.3 family. You guys do a great job.
For Braden, Woodsy, Mud, and Chris Ello, I'm Ben Higgins. Thanks for
yourself.
joining us on our Epic Roundtable, brought to you by Epic Wings. Never fresh, always fresh, never frozen on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be back next Thursday.
Nobody knows San Diego sports like a local. Padres talk, Aztec hoops, Friday night lights, and everything.